Hey guys, and welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. So, we've just come back into our trawler and we've been greeted by our party. You enter the trawler to find your crew gathered together waiting for you. Isabel has her head buried in her PDA. The rest of them stand watching her, try to be patient. Someone call a crew meeting? I told you I'm the one who gets the call. Wow. What's going on? Isabel paces up and back, trying to decide how to begin. I've been doing my homework on Josephine Sang and Sang Mechanical Services. You're pacing, so that tells me you found something. Oh yeah, I found something alright. She lifts a PDA to her face and consults her notes. In 2011, Sang Mechanical Services was a D-level corp floundering in the shallow end of Hong Kong corporate pool. That's when Josephine Shu married into the family. Josephine thought big. She conceived of a massive project that would catapult TMS into the big time. Something she called the Prosperity Project. Prosperity? That's what Raymond was mumbling about. What's the Prosperity Project? Once upon a time in the 1900s, the walled city was a densely populated slum. Something like 30,000 people crammed into 6.5 acres. Wait, I've heard this story before. It's a shithole, hell on earth, yada yada yada. That's today's walled city, the second walled city. The first walled city started life well over 100 years ago, and lasted through both world wars, and almost through to the Awakening. It was torn down in 1994, when the government had finally had enough. It becomes such a haven for criminals that the cops would only enter it in large, well-armed groups. The Awakening was basically the return of magic to the world. Sounds familiar? In 2021, Josephine Sang proposed a vision for a new type of low-income housing project, the Prosperity Project, a self-contained low-cost walking neighbourhood for the poor, but on a grand scale. The Prosperity Project would give Hong Kong's poor and a flood of refugees pouring into the country a place they could call their own, something that felt more permanent than a sprawling tent city that spontaneously sprang up after the first walled city was demolished. The Prosperity Project would replace the tent city and would be symbolically built on the site of the old walled city. The slogan was "A place of dignity where prosperity begins." The apartments weren't much bigger than the space you'd get in the average coffin motel, but they were built around plazas and marketplaces that contained goods and services catering to the poor. The government forgot the lessons of the last walled city. They loved the idea of containing the refugees and the poor to only a few densely populated blocks. It kept them out of the public eye. Securing the contract catapulted Sang Mechanical Services' fortunes ahead. It eventually put Josephine Sang onto the executive council. One slum made her rich? It's a very big slum. Apparently that was also the beginning of a series of lucrative building contracts that propelled TMS into the big time. Does Raymond come into all this? Raymond Black doesn't come into all of this, but Edward Sang does. Edward Sang? That's your foster father's real name. Raymond Black was actually Edward Sang, the only son of Josephine Sang and her late husband, Breakwater Sang. Edward was in charge of laying the groundwork for the walled city. Excavation, utilities, running the power lines, sewage, that kind of thing. So a secret foster grandmother's trying to kill us. It looks that way, yeah. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Remember that massive grey water lake that flooded the basement back in 48? When we got back from that camping trip in Salish, Ray screamed bloody murder about that. Wu nods smilingly. I've not seen him so angry, he so was. But did Raymond know how to fix it? No. Ray didn't know the first thing about sewer lines. He had a small army of plumbers, probably paid him double what the job was worth to fix the thing, and it still took almost 2 months to get the leak under control. And Josephine put him in charge of the walled city utilities? No wonder the walled city smells like that. I don't think Raymond had anything to do with the utilities in the walled city. Back to the mission computer. Alright, so let's get our pay data. Oh, okay. I thought we'd posted some, but apparently we didn't. On the jobs directory. Claim payment. Good work out there, kid. Here's the money, I promise you. Is that it? Fuck. We've got some pending jobs. What about active jobs? Oh, we don't have any active jobs. Okay. It's time to look for new pending jobs. Restaurant job. One of the things I've learned over the years is that even the rich and powerful have annoyances, thorns on their side if you will. No one is without troubles, the rich just have different ways of solving them. The client for this run has grown tired of one of the particular thorns in his side, Cheng Sing Rooster Lo. Lo is a red pole for one of the smaller triads here in Hong Kong, the 289s, or the Easy Money Gang if you prefer. Despite the 289's small stature, Lo's legal activities have managed to damage the client's profits. Mr. Johnson would like you to help him show Lo the error of his ways. Lo takes an evening every few months to dine at the Shangri-La restaurant in Aberdeen. See, that says Aberdeen, whereas before it says Aberdeen. Ah. If you aren't aware, Shangri-La is an elite establishment serving primarily corporate clientele from Wuxing Incorporated. Because of this, it's not unusual for diners to bring bodyguards or assistants with them. In Lo's case, he brings a particularly brutish enforcer known as the Talon, and undoubtedly feels well protected. You're going to prove just how wrong he is in this regard. You are to kidnap Rooster Lo, so long as he's alive and in relatively good health. All options are on the table. While keeping the run quiet would make things easier for Mr. Johnson, no one will shed too many tears over a few dead triad thugs. The client has arranged an exit via boat. So long as you can get Lo from the interior to the restaurant's dock, the client will handle everything else. Despite being a red pole, Lo is a tactician, not a fighter. Don't expect him to put up much of a fight. The Talon, on the other hand, is as nasty as they come. Be careful about how you confront him, or things may go very badly. I've let the client know you've accepted the job. By the time you arrive in Shangri-La, the boat to get you out will be waiting. Alright, so let's do that. But first, I want to talk to the guy downstairs. I want to see if he's got anything interesting to say. Welcome back, what can I do for you? Well, you said this morning's casting, what do you mean? Exactly what I said, a casting that I made of a new locomotive assembly for Cochet. Cochet? A biomedical design, as you can see. A biomectic design, sorry. This one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean. The mangrove crab, to be specific. Design drone parts? He nods. I'm fabricating them, yes. I'm just letting it do that. More trading experience than I care to mention. Drone architecture was once my profession, you see. Now it's more of a calling. One that I'm free to pursue, now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude. Cochet, an interesting name for a drone. Yeah, I suppose it is. Not many riggers would name the most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. A nod to my heritage, I suppose. What was the fairy tale about? A thoroughly unpleasant person. Cochet the Deathless, he was called. And for good reason. His soul was cleverly hidden outside of his body, and he could not be killed as long as it remained intact. She was a villain and notorious kidnapper of women, but something about him always struck with me. I suppose that's the notion of immortality through cleverness that resonated. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind. As your drone Deathless, like his namesake? In a manner of speaking, I suppose he is. I've got redundant copies of every piece of his architecture, and his core programming is stored on disk in a secret location. Should he ever be critically damaged, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once taught me the self-repair process. I must confess it was really quite ingenious, but alas, my research was lost. One day I'll reclaim it, because Shay will become as deathless as the stories claim, but it won't be today. I've got to get back upstairs. Too much talking with you, Ractor. What's through here? Shwick. Oh, that's where Gaichu sleeps. Hey Gaichu. Storage room that functions as Gaichu's cabin is cramped, overheated mess. Piles of old ship parts share space with tarnished cookware. Flats of instant noodles. A collection of cast-off clothes, and reams of diagnostic manuals for obsolete computer hardware. To top it all off, there's barely any light whatsoever. All the bulbs in this room are missing. Gaichu is busily moving boxes around, apparently in an effort to carve out some personal space amid the junk that he shares with his cabin with. As you enter, he cocks his head and turns around. Welcome to my sanctuary studio. I apologise for the lack of light, but as I didn't need it, Gobbet took the bulbs for use elsewhere. Gaichu puts down the box that he's in the process of moving and politely bows his head towards you. How can I be of assistance? That's why to see how you were settling in. He rolls his shoulders in a diffident shrug. I live. I'm among those who can make use of my services and who are not attempting to claim the bounty on my head. Is that not enough for now? Any thoughts on the last run? Vampires, tread producers, fancy parties. It's not the sort of affair I assume I would be participating in as a Shadowrunner. It seems strange, this rivalry between Shenyang and Ma. Most professional rivals don't hire augmented killers or freelance mages to solve their problems, yet Shenyang was insistent that only use outside help could solve the problem. Why not simply kill Ma? Social mores in this city elude me, I must confess. Kufeng was an incredible waste of space. I should hope that if she takes my lessons in philosophy to heart, the life of a vampire is more perilous than my own, and as her appetite is greater. Who knows, perhaps she will not have seen the last of her. Anything else? Nah. Please come by whenever you like. Indeed I shall. Right, let's get up and let's get started with this next mission. Too much talky. Need more stabby. Oh, let's see how we're going. No. Mission: enter the MTR station. And get on a train. Seems like the train's always just there for me. The MTR doors open. Travel to Shangri-La to kidnap Rooster Low. I'm going to take Duncan as usual and Gobbet as usual. I would like to take someone else. Zalabrad. Lol. Ridiculous shaman. I want to take Gaichu. But once again, it might come into some issues if I'm trying to do this stealthy. I'm going to take Isabel with us. Gaichu can wait at home. You stay at home, Gaichu. No one wants you. Uninvited guest. A tangle of marine decorum, restless lights, and ambrosial scents mingle atop a floating quay to accent the Shangri-La. Aberdeen's harbour premier dining location. Aberdeen Harbours, rather. With competitive views of the surrounding bay, the restaurant attracts a steady crowd of tourists and Wuxing personnel. The primary moneyman for the 289s, Rooster Low, is enjoying a rare meal outside of the Triad Hill territory. Intel says he's set up in one of the restaurant's private dining rooms, but he's not alone. Rooster keeps a personal bodyguard, a notorious orc called the Talon, in addition to his regular security detail. You've seen photos of the Talon's handiwork. Body so battered it's hard to tell where one bruise ends and the next begins. Your mission: locate Rooster, extract him from the Shangri-La, and deliver him to your client alive. Simple, fast, low profile. Of course, even the simplest of runs can go sideways. I'm happy with the gear that I've got. Well, that's my special pistol. I'm actually going to... I don't have pistol skill. Nah. I'm going to take it. Because if my sniper rifle needs reloaded, then I can always pistol someone. Even though that sniper rifle is ridiculous. And no one else uses pistols. I've got combat spend. Yeah, I've probably got a ton of combat spend. Quickness. I could get ranged combat up. I want to get the next charisma so I can get another one. I'm probably going to go with gang right now. Yeah, confirm. I'll take gang. I've got 7 more points. Can we shove this into quickness to get any more rifle things? We could also almost get Deadeye. What's a pistol? I can get an aim shot with a pistol. I need that to be able to see a critical percentage. I mean, it's pretty cheap to grab them. And then I can grab that as well. Yep, I like the look of that. Done! You, security guard. This will be a security etiquette. I bet you. Stepping into the interior hallway of the Shangri-La, you're confronted by a massive wall of troll. The restaurant's front door security. He speaks with surprising elocution. Welcome to the Shangri-La. We strive to provide our patrons with an exquisite dining experience. If you have any questions or require special accommodations, don't hesitate to speak with our staff. Looks like I've got my pick of tables. I'm sorry, but this is not a seat yourself establishment. If you'd like to choose where you sit, I suggest you make a reservation for one of the private rooms upstairs. He looks you up and down, frowns. Please keep in mind that any disturbances will be promptly de-escalated by our security. We reserve the right to bar services to unruly patrons. Thank you and enjoy your meal. Thanks. I don't want to goad him. Thanks for getting out of my way as well. The crab was truly amazing, just wish you didn't have to wait an hour to get it. A waitress swamped with orders, caught unaware by your approach. Oh, welcome to the Shangri-La, sir. Our hostess will seat you as soon as she gets back. Welcome to wait in the lounge. This will only take a second. A loud exclamation escapes through her nose and her eyes dart towards the kitchen. She musters an empty smile and nods in false hospitality. Absolutely, sir. What do you need? Never mind. I'll let you get back to work. I don't want to bug her. She's clearly busy. There's a guy called Henry. Can I touch that computer? I don't mind. An open program tracking food orders and the respective tables flickers steadily on the computer screen. Inside this file, a series of notes on guests and restaurant operations. You scroll through today's notes. Several servers have written about their concerns. Fucking ghetto. Actually, it wasn't even the ghetto, it was an ambulance. You scroll through today's notes. Several servers have written concerns about the lack of security, and a couple are frustrated with the curious guests wandering up to the second floor's private dining rooms. The rest are useless information. Manager's notice. Nothing but your typical wage slave directives in here. There are a few mentions of curtailing recreational activities in storage rooms and on outer decks. One can only infer the meaning of said activities. Further down a note in red expressly warns that special guests on floor 2 should be served by approved waitstaff only, and if the guest orders are botched again, there will be significant and widespread consequences for all servers involved. A list containing dozens of orders pop up, only a handful are for the upper floor's private dining rooms. One note in the second floor order stands out. Party of 5, standard seafood buffet, wine sampler, crab ragoon, Shangri-La prawns, surf and turf, no prawns, avoid cross-contamination with shellfish, diner is allergic. Ah. Oh, it's the Talon's food, okay. Menu pops up with options to view or place orders. Following the menu is a dining room chart that's been broken down into server zones. A large comp button on the upper right hand of the corner has a lock icon over it. Seems people are being too liberal with the free drinks. Liberal? Liberal. Unfortunately, it looks like you need a service code to place an order. Ah, okay. You are the chef. Can I talk to you or the security get mad? A heady aroma of spices and sweat bombards your senses as the cooks move through the kitchen, scents churning awake. Some sharp, some sweet, some altogether unfamiliar, but all delicious. The chef barks an order to his assistant, searing fish, then whirls around, muttering fervently to himself. He stops short once he notices you standing in his kitchen. I told him I need an extra server, not a hobo. Shoo. He gestures towards the door and... okay. I'm not a hobo. It's rude. Let's go talk to Henry. Hey, Henry. A well-dressed man sits alone at the bar, elbows propped atop the counter. His face is hard, eyes blank. He swirls the contents of his half-empty glass as if in a stupor. Between his swollen eyes and whiskey double, it isn't too hard to guess his mood. As you approach, he rubs his temples and graces you a lazy sideways glance, mumbles under his breath. Yeah, not like I can dig myself any deeper. Rough day? Huh? He looks at you again through dull, bloodshot eyes, but his gaze drifts elsewhere before returning to his drink. Lost 2 contracts, Mr. Third, late for a meeting, and publicly shamed by my co-worker, all during the 9 to 5. New record as far as I can tell. Takes a long pull from his glass, exhales. At least I got that going for me. Oh, your co-worker sounds like an asshole. How'd you get shamed? Negligence. My co-worker took 2 of my contracts while they were in renewal. I'd overlooked them for a day or 2. Damn, it was just a couple of days. He sighs and begins to sway. Whether it's involuntarily or to calm himself is uncertain, but his chair creaks loudly in protest. Anyway, he took my clients and made a fool of me. He's been rubbing it in ever since. How'd you lose him? Wish I knew. One of them was almost a done deal, but for some reason the client suddenly changed their tune, and the contract slipped away before I could officially close it. The other 2 contracts were for ongoing clients, people I'd worked with for years, but I somehow forgot about their annual renewal date, and a more diligent co-worker picked them up. I got no credit for the long-term partnership with those clients. If anything, I now look worse for losing them, even though I brought them into Wu Jing in the first place. He leans back and lets out a weary groan. His breath reeks of alcohol. Sounds like too many coincidences. Sure someone's not working against you? You kidding? Everyone's at each other's throat in this business. Fair, but there seems to be someone who benefited most from what's happening to you. You consider this. The newcomer, David. Henry nods his head towards a group at the end of the bar. an elf at the centre. He came out of nowhere and he's become a rock star with upper management. He's been making connections and deals like a Wu-Jing veteran, like me. Oh, I think I found your culprit. You're telling me you want to know what I think? He leans towards you, glassy-eyed. I think he's got family connections, people in high places, and he's been using them to his advantage. I don't know, just a thought. Might be onto something. No, just wistful thinking. Well, I'm gonna find out. Oh, David. David's all smiles. He just finished a joke to uproarious laughter of his party. Hello, friend. Try to get in this joviality. Joviality? You're welcome to join us for the next round. His words bleed into each other. This isn't his first drink. What are we celebrating? My recent success. Through some hard work and a little businessly persuasion, he winks at you knowingly. I sealed 2 contracts and a third's on the way. Hey, congratulations, next round's on me. Here's a real friend. Come on, let's drink. Much appreciated, thank you, my good man. So how did you bag all those contracts in one day? A fresh flush fills his cheeks. He wobbles in the spot and grins at you. Wasn't too hard, truth be told. Someone did most of the work for me. You see that poor sot down there? We just upgraded our security at work a few nights ago. That fool left behind a note containing his new password. I wrote it down, had some fun, sent nasty messages to his clients, removed a couple of appointments from his schedule. And boom, I'm employee of the month. All I had to do was some damage control, but that man's clients, they're now mine. Oh, that's some twisted shit. You like perspective, this is Hong Kong, this is Wu-Jing, this is business. You must be new here if you think that's strange. Thanks for the drinks, friend. Hey, Stager, these guys are right in the edge, both blasted, one pissed off the other. Well, an asshole. One word and these guys will be thrown down. That happens loud enough, security's bound to respond. Just a thought. Hey, Henry. Listen, that David prick you mentioned, turns out he broke into your work terminal and sent your clients some nasty messages in your name. Then he swooped in and stole them. A spark of sobriety washes over Henry. The dullness in his eyes drains away and he sits up alarmed. That explains why no one would return my messages. With a grunt, he smashes his fist onto the counter. He turns towards David and mutters through clenched teeth. He wants to play dirty, I can handle that. I can handle him. He jumps up and marches toward David. Hey! Pub brawl! Henry and David stand inches from one another, both men wearing the fiercest expressions they can muster. Their hatred is almost palpable. How their confrontation will play out is unclear, but one thing's for certain. You've got a great seat. Henry stabs a finger at David's chest and speaks in a low hiss. You stole my business and I know it. You might have picked this fight, but I'm going to win it. Fair and fucking square. Show you how those with integrity operate, you cheat. David's mouth eases into a contented smirk. You want to lose face twice in one day? I'm happy to oblige, but not in here. I'll be damned if the Shangri-La bans me for thrashing a worthless crap stain like you on the property. Let's finish this outside. Now. Fine, we don't think this will give you any sort of advantage, only means I won't have to hold back. Let's go. Alright, fair enough. I'm guessing that most of the rest of the security will have headed outside. But that's going to have to do us for this episode, so as always, thanks a lot for watching. I've been Steve, you've been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.